Welcome to the Marshall News and Views show. I'm Elaine Conyers, and our guest today is Harry Weilage, who is the director of the Marshall Community Services. And we're going to do something really different today. We're actually going to go on a tour of the amateur sports facility that is at the intersection of Highway 19 and 23, right next to the Marshall High School. And some of us got to go on this tour last week, and we just knew that the public would like to see how it's progressing. It's it's far from done, but it's interesting to see all the things that are going to be there and so on and so forth. So we're very pleased that now we've finally got to the end of that long road. We're just about to the end, and we have this for us in the area of Marshall, not just Marshall, excuse me.
The region.
And it is a regional facility, and we're very proud to have it here. So we hope that you will enjoy this tour. And Harry, tell us some of the history behind all of this, please.
Sure, Elaine. Well, and for the viewers out there, we've invited the school board, the city council, the commission that will have responsibility for it, and a couple of our local commissioners. We're on the tour to see where we were with the facility, and I'd say we're a little over halfway, somewhere between 50 and 60% completed. Okay. So, and it'll move fast. In fact, as we're taping this now, the roofs have been installed, and I'm going to say by the end of the week, the buildings will be sealed up, and then we'll start talking about what's going to happen on inside. Mm-hmm. So things will be not weather related anymore as far as holding things up.
That's right.
So the history of it, I looked, when you said we were going to do this tour, Elaine, I went back and I found the first really recorded minutes of when we did this, and that was back in 2008, November of 2008.
Wow.
And the history of the facility is, as I think most of our viewers know, is that Marshall has done sports tournaments, for as long as I've been here, and that's 35 plus years. So. We're good at that. We've been good at that, and with the development of the super rink up at the Amateur Sports Commission in Blaine, which has heavy sponsorship by the Schwann Food Company.
Yes, yeah.
I can remember comments from the community. Well, they're doing that all up there. Why don't we do something here? So you need to give credit to the Schwann Food Company and to Paul Erickson. Mm-hmm. Paul Erickson was the executive director, and I served on his board for Mighty Kicks, the soccer initiative, and then Mighty Rink, which developed the rinks around the state. And so I had that connection on that board, served on that for a couple of years, and then when the facility came, it was set up politically as across the state so that sports tourism would affect all congressional districts.
Okay.
And so you have a sports commission in Rochester, you have a sports commission in St. Paul, and then Blaine, the Super Ring, Duluth, Moorhead, St. Cloud, and Marshall.
Okay.
And so there's access to our community, and the goal for the Amateur Sports Commission is to bring sports tourism into from outstate and to help promote amateur athletics and the fitness of our children.
Right.
And so it's a great marriage. The financing goes that the state will help with the bonding of the facilities, but the maintenance and all those things are responsible for the local community.
Okay.
What happens with that is it doesn't become a budgeted issue on the state budget every year. Build the capital improvements, take the responsibility, and the local commission and community has to take responsibility. So that's kind of the background on how it got started. Then the long discussion about getting the bonding money and the prioritization of all the things across the state, from flood assistance, emergency assistance, the MNSCU systems, all of those things go into, we had to compete between 2008 until 2013 when we actually received the $4.28 million from the state to essentially build the second rink on the piece. And certainly was a fabulous time to get that done. and really applaud the citizens of Marshall to see the foresight of what that means to the economic development of our
Right.
community.
Yep.
Marshall doesn't have lakes.
Yep.
Marshall has a lot of ag. Marshall has great business, and we also have quality facilities.
Right,
And this new facility really is going to be the gem that attracts the emerging markets of Lincoln, Omaha, Nebraska, Sioux City, Iowa, South Dakota, Sioux Falls, Brookings, Watertown, and Fargo in North Dakota. Those are all emerging hockey communities.
Yeah.
And we all agree that the state of Minnesota is the state of hockey.
Yeah.
And that is our premium piece and why that facility is looking the way it does. Now, that doesn't stop us from having the baseball. In fact, in my opening letter in the community services, I applauded our baseball program that brings in Fargo and Omaha and Brookings and Watertown, because they're understanding that regional pull. And when you have good facilities, towns want to come and want to spend money in those facilities.
And it's so good for the students and the players and their parents. They don't have to travel so far.
Well, and the other piece, it's actually good business for our university, because our university is looking at all these students as a future piece as students at our university. That in line aligns itself with future workforce.
Yep.
Our industries need good workforce.
Yes. Yep.
So we like to keep our tabs on growing students, young families, and hanging on to some of us old retiring professionals.
There you go. Yes. Well, it's just a wonderful thing that is happening, and so many people are excited about it. And I think when it actually happens and we start having tournaments there, the population is going to be really amazed to see all of this activity in Marshall.
Well, and again, I get access. I have my colleagues from the surrounding communities and the larger communities that are coming here and recognizing what Marshall's doing. We just had some teams in from St. Cloud area, and just amazed at what the community of Marshall looks like and the facilities that it has. And so, you know, it's important for us to stay competitive, because the Brookings and the Watertowns and the Sioux Falls have spent an extraordinary amount on the same thing. They understand the business of youth sports. And so if we want to be in that game, we've got to play.
That's
so it's important for us to keep marching to that tune. And the other side of it is it works for our school district to bring new families. It works for our university to bring new students. And the partnership is an important piece for the growth of the community and the region.
That's right. Well, and businesses are going to see profit too, you know, like with hotels and motels. And I understand that in our, you know, what tournaments we did have here, we could never house them all, could we?
No. And as we continue to ramp up with more special events like the Sounds of Summer and the weddings and all the communities around us that don't have the hotels, you know, we end up being the reunion space and the wedding space for all of our smaller communities around us. So, I mean, we need the capacity, and we need the capacity that attracts young families and new development. And it's great to see the new mall development. We'll have more development next to the arena. And so that was the intent of the referendum, to create that kind of business and those opportunities. And Roger Madison, as our chair, has done a great job.
Now, there's going to be 2 ice rinks in the facility that they're building right now. The first one will open in
probably May of next summer.
Of next 2016.
Right, and that'll be about for clinics and camps and all that, and that'll be ice year-round. Then the other rink will be really a soft opening for expos during the summer, and then it will open up in the fall. And that's for us to get used to how much equipment we need to supply for the expos that our businesses are doing.
Do you think that we will get to the point where we will need more than 2 arenas?
Well, that's not going to be my decision. Hopefully, that's a problem that we'll have. That's a good problem.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that that's something we can look forward to, probably.
Sure.
So, well, we're going to turn this over so that we can see that video, so please enjoy it.
Dave Maroney, our architect, will be leading the tour, so any questions, please give us a call down at the office at 537-6767. Thank you.
As you can see, this is the west entry here. This is the main entry to the building. And the brick that you see on the building is basically a very similar color to the high school. We wanted to keep that same flavor going. It's not exactly, it has its own individual look, but it has that same tone to it. We're going to be, basically the rest of the building is going to be that same color for the lower 2/3, and then the top band from that recess all the way around it is going to be white, kind of a creamy white, kind of like the high schools. So it will have that same kind of style, that Jeffersonian feel to it, kind of that campus concept going, but the entry is going to really set it apart. It's a lot of glass, kind of a architectural detail around the top, very transparent, so anybody coming to this area is going to be able to see right into the building. And also conversely, being in the building, you're going to be able to see right out. And we really designed it around the ability for you to look right down the promenade, kind of through the plaza, down the promenade, all the way to the, in the Minnesota Pond, what is that called, Harry?
Little Mini.
The what?
Little Mini.
Little Mini, okay. The fountain. So that's, you know, it's an interactive experience. So we want to engage people. We also took a lot of care in just simply the placement of the building and the way it faced the community. And to keep all of our sight lines open, we've been helping to master plan the rest of the site too, so we can keep some good strong sight lines to the high school main entry, to the arena expo main entry. It's very logical. So it's been kind of an exciting process. So you can kind of see the basic coloration of the exterior, and then a lot of that was brought in, and of course you can start to see some of the flares of the school colors, high school colors, with the seating. Bleachers are going to be a combination of orange and black seating. Rubber flooring even has that kind of motif in it. It's standard, but it's again kind of being respectful and kind of consistent with that. The colors are very neutral. The burnished block, that's that ground-faced concrete block that's in the main lobby area of the building, and also the public hallway, anything upstairs, club room entrance, things like that. It's very similar to what's at the high school, again, in the community spaces at the high school. There's also some upgrades that we're able to do with respect to porcelain wall tile in some of the restrooms and some of the accent areas of the building. And again, that has that real rich kind of earthy flavor to it. It's kind of a sandstone, kind of travertine feel to it. Toilet partitions consistent. We do have some carpet in the club room, some of the office areas of the building. Has kind of a nice neutral pattern to it. The various shades of beige, I guess, with some orange accents for the wall colors. The wood is kind of back to dark, so we've got a dark wood component with any of the doors and stain. So I think it's just going to be a very rich feel result all in. We were able to basically put some good maintenance-friendly, durable wall and floor materials in the building, in the public spaces in particular, much like we did at the high school when that was built. And you know, if you've been through that, it's what, 10 years old now, Bruce? At least about 10 years old, and the thing looks brand new basically. And that's just the nice thing about having those maintenance-friendly, good, strong materials in the building. So I don't know, with that, shall we take a walk? So just for a point of reference, because it drives me crazy all the time when we take a tour and you can't walk in the front door, you walk in the back door. But basically, this is a drop-off area. This is the bus area here, so all the buses will be parked in here. They can also come through here and drop off. Any of the players' parents, of course, can drop off and come in here. Everybody's basically going to go through that front door, except for this is kind of designated as the varsity team, junior varsity entrance on this end. Everybody comes in through the front door. And it's a very nice arrangement in that basically if you're with your parents or something, they can stop and get a ticket, and you can take a right and go right down the ramp into the players area. So it all happens on this side of the ticket fair. So if you imagine yourself as a, maybe you're on the varsity girls team, there's 2 varsity locker rooms in each corner in this location, and basically the coach's office area is right centrally located here to basically, those are the 2 entrances in, the male and the female side. And basically as you come in here, you're able to go into what's the JV locker room, or you can go into the varsity locker room. And those are connected also so that we can keep the two teams together or keep them separate as needed. It can also be an occurrence where you might have some other teams in here, but any visiting team varsity players are really down at the end of the run of locker rooms along the rink one. Those are equipped a little bit extra, and I don't know if we'll see it or not, but there's some small shower facilities at those locations just to bring it up a notch for the visiting teams. But this has full shower facilities, locker facilities for basically 4 teams in this area. 2 JV, 2 varsity teams, coaches area, and then support area for this. So the big idea here is that this is kind of the hallway onto the ice. And essentially what we vision here is some benches along this wall, and what we've seen with some other locations where that's where the young hockey players might be seated, and as the varsity team might come out, they might do the high-fiving it with the younger players all the way along this run here in kind of this controlled area, and then straight out onto the ice this way. And of course, well, we'll do that now. Let's be like a hockey player. We'll get to rink 2 in a little bit here. So let's keep walking this way. So what we've all done here now, hopefully this guy won't drive over us. What we've all done is traveled the route that a varsity team, girl or boy, will take onto the main rink here. And what's exciting about this little route here is that looking off to your right, there's going to be bleachers starting from ice level all the way up to there, and then more stadium chairs up above that, and then people up on top of that and standing room only areas. We've got glass up here with people in the controlled environment, and then we've got more bleachers over on this side and a club room beyond that full of people screaming. What a great place for the home team to come out onto. The visiting team, conversely, is way down at the other end there, kind of by themselves. So this is about as big a hype as you can do right here. So it's all carefully designed that way. So what we've done is we've essentially kind of come in through the way the player is going to be going in. Again, here's the main entrance right here, off to our, as you guys are looking at it, off to our left here. This is all glass. There's basically 4 points that hold up this elevated roof, and this will all be very open and airy feeling in here. So we're going to come in, and the rink manager's office is here. This first area here, this is basically a community room that's subdividable into 2 smaller rooms that's openable into a larger group room right here with 2 separate entrances. So you can start to see that being the final finish of the masonry. Once they get all this laid up, they're going to clean it all up, and then they give it one more coat of sealer and really seal all that up for good. So there'll be an operable partition in this area here. We're in a climate controlled area at this point. So what I said was the tickets will be about right here, so any players are going to go right down this ramp and they go right out into where all the locker rooms are. Any spectator or a parent has an option here. Once they do their ticket exchange, they can go walk straight ahead and enter the seating at that level, or they can go up the stair right there, switch back and around and up to the elevated lobby up above. It'll be right up above us. That's where the main concession area is going to be, right above us, and that's where most of the people are going to go. Right next to that's the elevator, and that carries anybody that needs that type of transportation vertically so they can arrive at the same point up above. Again, second floor will be all climate controlled. There's going to be glass that overlooks the main rink, and then there's also going to be an entrance into the club room. So you start to look at this area here, and that big opening there, that 40-foot opening, that is a solid glass window, which is basically what I'll call the Budweiser suite of the Xcel Energy Center, okay? And we're doing some special accommodation here to get even some club kind of level seats integrated into that. And we're going to take and open up each end of that glass window with some operable partitions so that you can not only see, but you can hear and feel the event, whether it's a hockey event or an expo or anything. Exactly. So there'll be some fixed seats in that location on each end of that window. Pretty exciting. This hallway right down this direction here is actually kind of, you know, it serves the restroom facilities, which are on the left. It also allows access, wheelchair accessible access to the main floor of an expo by going down. It's essentially some steps and then a ramp going down there. The other component is it's, again, high quality finishes. It's really that connection that we're going to have with the development and the hotel, banquet facilities, all of that kind of thing is eventually going to be tied in with that. Plus it's a natural connection to the high school also, looking that direction. So we've already kind of planned in where that opening is going to be and how that connection occurs over to the hotel and the banquet facility. And you know, the whole idea here is that we're going to call this Rink 1. Okay, this is the North Rink, Rink 1. It's essentially the multi-purpose component of this facility. So, you know, what we're envisioning there is ice is going to be in that about 6 months out of the year, just during the winter. All summer long, spring, fall, it's going to be set aside for expo. And one nice thing, you don't see any bleachers in this area right here. That's because they're actually going to be portable bleachers, like we're at the high school. And so we can free up all that floor space for those types of events, whether it's a RV show or a expo with booths or whatever. Okay, it's totally flexible. Same thing with the seating on this end. So we really maximize that floor area so that you can really get the most bang for the rental buck on that. So yeah, this is kind of that feeling now. What we've just done is we passed through from climate controlled to now when you're standing here, you're going to feel connected with the rink because we're going to be in the same atmosphere as the arena right at this point. So there's going to be some doors here that are all glass. You can be able to still see right through here. Again, anybody coming out here, there's going to be a rail here. The players are going to come running out through here and ready to play. So basically, this curve are the dasher boards. The glass is going to be right here. So the dasher boards are about right here. And this is all glass up here. So you're going to literally walk out here and just feel like you're part of it, part of the action.
What's the total seating of the main north?
Well, we've got for the whole arena, we've got about 1,400 seats in the arena. That includes about 200, 250 in Rink 2. So by far the lion's share is yeah. So we've got regular bleacher seats down low on each side here. Those 1, 2, 3 tiers are going to be stadium chairs, just like over at the event center, you know, stadium chairs that you're all, if you want to buy one and put your name on it, I bet you Harry will take your number and name. That'd be kind of cool to have your name on the chair. Okay, now let's walk back this way. So looking straight ahead, that's where you get your skates. Right there, yep. That's the counter right there. So you're going to come in here, you're at a birthday party or something, it's time to check in. There's a nice open area here for people to kind of hang out and gather and then be able to get your support stuff here. The idea with Rink 2 is that this is going to be year-round full-time ice at this location. So essentially it's set up for 200, 250 seats plus some standing room only around here. So you can get a good sized crowd in here, basically year-round for skating. Free skating, open skating, figure skating, hockey skates, the whole thing. Amps. And you can start to see, I was pointing out to the cameraman actually, where you can see through the deck, and that's not an illusion, that's actually a transparent deck for acoustical control, acoustical reasons. And you can see that they've roofed this much of it, so now you can't see through it anymore. But basically that's going to help soften the edge in here. It's a 3-inch metal deck, and these are long span steel joists. Yeah. So what we're in right now is basically it's going to be a real workhorse hallway. Everybody that's in the locker rooms along here have access to this hallway here. teams, as they're overlapping in their times to go in and out of locker rooms, plenty of space in here. You know, there's going to be equipment bags piled up here and ready for staging to be able to get in for the next event. So we made this very generous. You can see how the seats are going to be up here. Basically 3 levels, bench seats plus standing room only up above. And that looks right over rink 2. So this hallway goes all the way down, so these are actually the access points into the locker rooms right here. So if you look into one of these, you'll see essentially what the locker room is going to look like. Pretty basic.
How many locker rooms along here?
There's 8.
Wow.
Okay. Unlike that other hole in the wall, these ones are permanent. This is literally the loading area for the expo, for the multi-purpose rink. And we can open this door up, bring a vehicle in here, close that door, open this one up and go in. So it's kind of a sally port, if you will. There's storage right here. There's also going to be a mezzanine level up here that has more storage. What we visualize there is long-term storage, kind of the conversion stuff for the expo, for the ice. So the dasher boards will all be put up there, the glass and everything. Just kind of stay up there for 6 months and then come back down. The city also accepted an alternate bid for some additional square footage to basically put yard maintenance next door here. This is the extra building, yep, right here. And what we did here was we made it as tall as the other space, so we were able to basically do the same thing with a higher bay door coming in here, and then there's a mezzanine up above here for more storage up above. So we're really maximizing the volume of the space. And then these will be closed in, and there'll be another door opening here, but it'll be essentially get closed in. It's open for construction right now. And then there'll also be 2 rails across here for the Zambonis, because basically this is the ice melt pit, and it's heated and everything, and this is where all the snow and ice goes, and then it, boom, gets taken away. There'll be a Zamboni there for rink 1, there'll be a Zamboni here for rink 2. If, in the event one of them fails, and you only have one operational, the one here can drive across this on the rails that are in place and be able to service both sides. It's not real convenient, it's not real efficient, but you can do it, you know, so that's important. Okay, let's go upstairs. So we're actually up on the 2nd floor now, legally called the mezzanine level. And you can start to get a feel. Visualize seats, stadium chairs all along these 3 vertical areas here. And then anything down to the ice level is going to be retractable folding bleachers, just like at the high school. And then there's counters at the back side of the seats all along this area here, literally standing, kind of standing room only, standing, just like the XL, exactly. This is where the scorer's table is, centrally located on the rink. And also we have wheelchair seating up on this highest level as well as inside wheelchair seating around that end. You'll notice on rink 1 we've got some windows, and so you're able to actually see your surroundings, which is kind of nice, because you know it's not always a hockey rink. Sometimes it might be a concert, or it might be a big wedding party or something like that. And we've got some full height windows on each side of that push out, so you're able to connect with the outdoors a little bit better.